Back to the C Championship Finals. Ladies and gentlemen, before we get into this too much, let's not forget, well, they don't have a logo on here because Eddie sent me the ugliest one in the world. CT Esports is one of the sponsors, along with Xmash Gear, Esports SG, as well as Silicon Sports. They pretty much support like 99% of everything that goes on in C for StarCraft 2, so give those guys some love. But I'm Rifkin, joined by Zeph in game number 2. We got a bit of an early pool coming out of Moonglade. Zeph, just how early of a pool is this?
It's like a 9 pool or something. Was it? Oh my god,
no,
it's a 6 pool. I wasn't even paying attention.
We'll get through the introductions quickly because we're going to have to. Ladies and gentlemen, in the top left corner of the map, playing for the Team NV, looking to respond to Cheese with a bit of his own, it is the Purple Zerg player Moonglade.
And his opponent being played at his own game right now from Invictus Gaming. It is a Red Protoss MacSed.
Now, I don't know that a 6 pool is necessarily going to work. If MacSed goes for Forge first, which he is, in a desperate scenario, you know, you see this coming with that probe as it scouts across, you put a pylon down on your mineral line, you get a cannon there, you're good to go. Because the point of these 6 early lings, they need to kill workers. If they don't, you've halved your worker count for no reason whatsoever. So Moonglade putting it on the line with this very risky gambit. And I do need to remind you guys, if he doesn't get this, he's knocked out of the winner's bracket and will have to go down to the loser's bracket. Now, I believe MacSed saw that. He should have with that probe.
Yeah, he did.
Oh, maybe he... Did he not? Hang on, maybe he wasn't paying attention. Sees things that now he has to know that was an earlier pool. Yeah. Comes up here to confirm it. Meanwhile, yeah, there we go. Pylon in the mineral line. He knows what's up. Cannon's gonna go down. But that's the thing. All Moonglade has to do is kill about 10 workers. As if that was like an easy thing to do.
Yeah, we'll see how well he can micro against the probes. It's going to be a test for both players to see how well they can control this.
Stacking them up, that's nasty. We'll have to go for the cannon, of course, or the pylon, one or the other, but he can't go for the Nexus. This simply won't cut it. I mean, it's kind of a cool effort, but as that cannon completes, this is the clock. This is the clock for Moonglade. Now
will he be able to take enough probes down while he's at it? Looks like he's getting a few, but is it going to be enough? He gets 4 out of there and loses 4 of his lings as well.
Well, the upside for him is he can take out the forge, he takes out the pylon. He can prevent, there's not going to be a natural coming down anytime soon because of course the gateway's only just now being made. So maybe he can try and recover from this, but don't make any mistake, guys. A 6 pool is the most difficult thing to recover from. I mean,
at the same time, I mean, Moonglade can't really take his natural because that's being cannon rushed by MacSed again. Both players are just taking hits at each other, playing real dirty right now. And Moonglade has no idea that this is happening.
We'll call this the... I feel like this is a joke here, like an Aussie and a Chinese walk into a bar. and like the fight breaks out or something, but... can he find some surface? He does find some surface area away from the cannon. Of course, that cannon does cover the gateway, covers the pylon. Not a lot can really be done, unfortunately, and if he goes back home, he knows, alright. Well, does he know? He's gonna find out in a second. Yeah, there's cannons down.
I'm under attack. There it is. So we'll have to see how he responds to this.
This is really cool, actually. So, Moonglade, I thought, was just doing this for the sake of damage. It's actually really important he kills this, because if he kills this, no warp tech, no mothership core. The cyber core will go down, but they're not gonna be able to make anything without that gas. So if he knocks down the assimilator early enough, this could actually play out quite nicely. According to another Zealot, realizing how important this is to hold on to. Pulling probes even. Oh man, MacSed.
Smart moves by Glade, forcing a little bit of extra lost mine time. A shame he lost the first Zealot, but a few too many rings out. Down goes the assimilator, but the other one finishes up just as it dies. But of course, all he's going to do now is just swing around there and go for it again.
At the moment, I mean, it's going to be the choice of the mothership or warp tech. He can't start both at the moment. He should be fine with his second gas, but actually with everything being so delayed due to the cannons going to the half of the map, this is actually going to time out what would be scaled down to normally.
Yeah, more or less. It's kind of a really weird, funky game. I mean, they're going to go ahead and take that third base location in his natural and get some speed.
His
coming down to...
It's worth noting his queen can outrange the cannon if he goes in from behind the mineral lines. I think if he sticks on that ledge, he should be out of range of the cannon and be able to shoot the pylon, but not exactly a priority. It looks like Moonglade is just going to try and bulldog it down as he gets 8 more lings out. Obviously, continuing drone production at the moment a little irrelevant because he is fully saturated. And
yeah,
this is still a rough spot.
Anyway. Because MacSed may just go like, here's a couple of extra gates and come with some units. So he wants to be out on the map. He wants to be making sure he's picking these off, so he doesn't have to lose anything unnecessarily.
This is, I don't even know. This is a weird situation because now we got the Nexus coming down for MacSed. He does have the sentry, so the ramp is safe. But he's only just not getting the mothership core, so these things are going to be not exactly an immediate danger, but yeah, he's not going to kill too much.
Yeah, he's not going to be able to get the natural. I mean, speed's on the way now too, plus another 16 links. So basically anything that gets dropped down here is not going to live very long at all. Like, the mothership core only kills links so fast. And especially once the speed kicks in, you can just bypass stuff. So. Already picking up a couple of pylons.
Yeah, worth noting what this went on too. That Zealot actually from MacSed did survive in the middle of the map. Killed 3 links with it. Now living to take a couple more with him. Definitely extending his lifestyle here. 5 go down in total to that 1 Zealot.
Wow, and now another 30 links on the way for Moonglade. He is pushing just link production right now as his speed gets closer and closer to finishing. And once it does, I think he might just overwhelm MacSed. He only has a couple of force fields available to him, so maybe Moonglade won't be able to get up the ramp right away. But
Zeph, you are underestimating the power of this mothership core. I mean, it can't overcharge or anything just yet, but it might try and throw one down. He's going to put the force fields for surface here on the Nexus, I think. 3 seconds, he can overcharge, but no. Oh, links do get on top of these sentries. Oh, that's going to be nasty if he loses them.
It takes 1 down.
He'll get the Nexus. Overcharge is wasted on the Nexus. It gets 2 hits off. Oh, no.
Yeah, there's just so much here from Moonglade. He's going for the full block off the pylons to buy himself some time, getting a Twilight Council behind this and an extra couple of gates, but is he going to actually last long enough?
Well, we can see infinite Sim Cities coming up behind this, and MacSed has the money for it. Yeah, Probe's just throwing out what they can, where they can. Definitely an awkward situation here for MacSed, but Moonglade, you know, he's just continuing to reinforce links behind us. So they get on top of these sentries once again.
And that's going to be it, more or less. I mean, he can't drop any more buildings because those.
This was such a not game that I expected to come off of a 6 pool. Quite frankly, when the cannon went down in the middle line, I was expecting Moonglade to tap out, but now that he stayed in this for so long, he's actually bought himself into a pretty good position. Gonna knock down one of these gateways. There's just simply not enough production. A Dark Shrine trying to go down, but he's actually blocked out of his own SimCity. MacSed can't build what he wants to build.
And he's going for the pylon with the gateway at the front. So there's just no production for MacSed. He's dropping all these buildings, but they're not actually doing much for him. And in the meantime, I mean, Moonglade can continue to pump out links, continue to be annoying, or he could go back to droning a few. I mean, there's got a lot of money, so he can take an extra base. He's got a lot of options open to him at the moment, and MacSed is forced to just defend.
Look at the kills on this mothership core.
Oh my goodness.
This is why I said don't underestimate the mothership core. This is kind of stupid, but what's weird to consider, guys, is that Moonglade's actually ahead on the resources lost at this point. These trades, as weird as they've been, have been kind of efficient because he's been forcing MacSed to build a lot of buildings. He hasn't had a lot of units to lose. These are all this is like structural damage.
Yeah. And he catches the Zealot out again. MacSed kind of bait him back into the SimCity position to do some damage with the cannon, helping him out, but at the end of the day, Moonglade's never going to fully commit to that, and he's got a ton more links coming out. He's taking a 3rd base.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to bring up. Moonglade, who hasn't reclaimed his natural at any point, did leapfrog all the way over here to take his 3rd base. He's got a Roach Warren on the way, and actually, Roaches, forget the Dark Shrine for a second, and forget any amount of sentries. If Moonglade gets to that point where he's comfortably playing with Roaches, Burrow Tech aside, Moonglade is really good with Roaches to begin with.
Yeah, and with only sentries on the ground, there's not all that much you can do against Roaches. And MacSed, yeah, he's going for the DT Shrine. I'm pretty sure Moonglade has seen that. Okay, he hasn't seen the DT Shrine, but he saw the Twilight Council earlier, so he's already got spores down to try and deal with that.
Ooh, a couple Zealots warped to try and hold this location, but the cannons still do go down at the natural. Moonglade going to claim this up at his 4th base, so now 2 bases, well, will be shortly 2 bases over his opponent. But again, he's floating a ton of resources because one of the big things is while he was doing all this, we got a lot of larvae banked up, but not a lot of units.
Yeah. It's a little bit gas hungry at the moment too, so he can start saturating that 3rd base, and then he's just going to have a ton of units to ship out, tons and tons of minerals to use up. Could even drop a macro hatch at this stage. But it looks like he's intent on just continuing to make units and just throwing it at MacSed until he dies.
This is, again, not the game I expected to be here, but ladies and gentlemen, this is why I wanted Moonglade versus MacSed.
Yeah, it's cool. I mean, it's not a run off the mill PvZ, which is cool because you get to see how the players will adapt to the situation that they're in.
Well, actually, really importantly, worth noting here, we do have the Burrow Tech on the way as predicted, but most importantly, look at the base of MacSed. Do you see a robo facility down anywhere? Where will the detection be? Even though he might not be able to use tunneling claws initially, burrowing from the sentries, just healing up underneath those force fields. Moonglade's not going to be in any immediate danger anytime soon.
Yeah, he's more or less unkillable right now for MacSed. Max is going to have some really good luck, to say the least, to be able to bring him back in this game, because everything's just not going for him right now. He's lost probes, he's lost buildings, he can't see those roaches, not that he really has anything beefy enough to take them on. Anyway, I mean, he's getting a few stalkers now. We've got a Dark Templar walking in. I'm not sure where that's going.
Well, Moonglade's got those tunneling claws on the way as predicted. Did he actually make a second Roachborn to do that? Yes, he did. A little bit quicker, a little bit faster to get his tech sort of jump started. So for a moment, I was like hesitating. We saw the same thing happen yesterday. I don't know if it was Moonglade. I think it was Mafia who went for the double Hydralisk Den to double get his upgrades there. But we actually have Moonglade doing the same thing here with the Roachborn today, depending on where you are. And this, I don't know. I'm just kind of sitting here like I almost don't want to cast. I just want to sit here with like a dumb smile on my face as we watch the outcome of the game.
Yeah, it's looking pretty dire for MacSed still, but he's getting a second forge. You know, he's got a really good fortified position at his natural now because he's SimCity'd off. He's got a bunch of sentries with a ton of energy too, so he might be able to take the third base. I really like how Glade's cleverly burrowed a Ling at the potential third of MacSed.
Yeah, and again, no detection. Now, unfortunately, that observer is on the way finally. It took a long time to get going, but yeah, so Moonglade not going to be able to... Whoa, bit of an awkward tower there. Roaches were standing right next to a Dark Templar. Moonglade's probably like, why don't I have this tower? I keep sending units there and the tower's killing me.
Yeah, it's alright. He's making an Overseer now. He'll be able to clear that out. But he's got 43 roaches on the field with more on the way, plus one coming down too. So he may even try and barrel down the front door a little bit. Doesn't have to overcommit, just poke and threaten and keep MacSed on his toes. Because of course he doesn't want to let him get that third base and then get into a position where he can just turtle up and get to an army that he wants.
Now, of course, what's really nice about the tunneling claws, if you haven't seen them yet, guys, first off, you don't know what you're missing. But most importantly, yeah, it's kind of cool. They actually let you burrow, they let you regen a little bit faster underground and move while burrowed. But the Sentry force fields, everyone knows the Immortals are strong. We've seen it time in and time out, but a lot of the amateur people in StarCraft 2 don't realize it's not the Immortals that make that so scary, it's the Sentries that go with it. And with tunneling claws, you essentially negate any form of force field. So coming in here fully loaded, Moonglade gonna get some army units force fielded off, but as we see, just goes in for the shark attack. Time Warp goes down, trying to slow these down, but another force field on the ramp. Moonglade should actually back away from this. Yes, using the force fields against MacSed. MacSed's army is now trapped and cannot get in range to engage this. Nexus will fall, no cancel, and he'll get these pylons as well. Oh, Moonglade, you are so smart.
And he can just continue doing that, like you said, burrow moving under the force fields, back out of the time warp.
Look at this
really
too,
nice
like,
use of time warp actually by MacSed, forcing
look how
him out there in the
fast!
first place.
Look how fast they regenerate! They're taking hits and going to full like it's nothing!
He's just being so cost efficient right now, picking off sentries on the front lines as well. And while he will pull out of there for the moment, the third base is not up. He's still got a ton of roaches, more in production, plus 2 attack on the way, a fourth base down, and he can just keep this up. He can just keep coming back in with more and more roaches and just messing with him.
Now they're all full health again, as if they had medevacs, ready to rock and roll. Now, actually, Max is making the right choice. He's not continuing to reinvest in the sentries. He's getting a couple more, but he knows that these aren't really what stops the roaches. He's seen the burrow tunnel and claws. He knows he's not going to be able to win with force fields, so has instead reinvested in a lot of stalkers, which do in fact have blink.
Yeah, that's going to help him out a little bit, but that's still a hell of a lot of roaches. He's maxed out for 108 supply of MacSed, and he's coming back in for round 2. Forces go down, but of course we know...
Don't do a single thing. Roaches trying to get focused down, but man, that regen while burrowed is insane to deal with. Moonglade again, just kind of using force fields against his opponent, as now MacSed is choked. He can't blink forward, does blink forward, but the Nexus still falls. All these probes are here, but that's not going to be the focus. It is these stalkers. Good game, and Moonglade, if you guys remember, this was a 6-pool. A 20-minute 6-pool.
Oh my goodness, what a game. And that was only game 2, so I'm really happy that we have a game 3 coming up. MacSed, of course, taking the first match with a sneaky cannon rush. So what's in store for the third game?
Well, you guys will, of course, be happy to know that regardless of who loses this is the winner's bracket in a double elimination tournament. So even if Moonglade goes down, you've got a chance to see him more later. If MacSed goes out, you've got a chance to see him more later.
Yeah.
But what a fantastic game out of Moonglade. Like, really, not because I like Moonglade, and I'm not just like saying that for hype, but that was what I honestly consider to be a failed six pool that turned out glorious in the end. Join off.
Yeah, that went really, really well.